ultimately, are you taking your life seriously? And I want you to genuinely answer that question with all conviction. Are you actually living to the fullest extent that you could be? Because at the end of the day, if you lie, you're only lying to yourself. If you tell the truth, you're only telling the truth to yourself. I'm glad to know that ultimately, even if no one sees anything I make, that I tried. That no matter how hard or the difficulties I've had, even if no one sees them, that I've had them, that I've made the effort to be the person I am. Not for anyone else, not for this person, not for that person, but for me specifically. I think that's much more important. I think that's a lot more grounding than going, I'm going to change. I'm going to be better for this specific person or this specific thing. If you do it for you, if you do it for someone else, right? Most people choose religion, for example. So they'll do it for a higher power, their God, their worshipper. Good. I honestly agree that God should come first. Now, personally, I'm not a religious person, but I think that is a very important thing. It builds community. It helps so many people come together and build and create off each other. And I don't think we nearly have enough of that now. Focusing too much in one aspect by yourself just creates so much drama, I would say, that you could never really even fathom. At least with a community of people that you trust, a community of people that believe the things that you believe, at least they're there with you. At least they're there alongside you. If you needed answers to something that you weren't sure about, at least you know that you can ask them. At least you know, hey, I can do this, but I actually want to ask this person first, or I want to ask this couple of people first because maybe what I think isn't entirely correct. And a lot of people honestly don't have that mentality. A lot of people don't go, oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. But most people don't go, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should ask people. Most people completely and utterly stick to what they believe. And that's okay. But to find answers in life for yourself, the way I see it is you have to not only believe your core beliefs, but you also need to listen to what other people's core beliefs are. Because if you're going back and forth between the two and you think, something doesn't make sense in either my belief or their belief, and you're not asking questions of why doesn't it make sense, or why do I think that way? Why do they think that way? Is there someone with a differing opinion from me or them? And just because I believe this, that doesn't mean it's correct. That doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't mean that they're right. That doesn't mean that they're wrong. They are just your beliefs. It's what you personally have seen in your life. It is what you have seen. It's the way you reacted. It's the way you react to things in certain aspects. Now, I may only be young, right? But ultimately, finding what works for you and being able to not only go, okay, this works for me, but is it optimal? Have I optimized it? am I really believing what I believe? Or am I just believing something that someone told me? So a lot of growing up, especially with parents and that kind of thing, you will inevitably pick up some of their beliefs, and that's normal. Ultimately, that's the life you lived. That's what you knew. That's how you lived. If you actually sit there and think about, do I believe what I was taught? Do I believe what my family told me? Do I believe rather what my friends told me or my community? And you sit there and you say, no. Figure it out. Figure out what you believe in personally. Figure out maybe why you believe in that thing or those things. Because if you're not willing to sit down and really listen to your own self, if you're not willing to sit in silence with yourself, which you wouldn't believe the amount of people now that just sit on their phones and expect something to change, or they're drowning out their own inner thoughts just because they want some peace. I find peace in my inner thoughts. I find peace in the fact that I am able to think in my own mind. I find peace in the fact that there is so much chaos. I find peace in the fact that that chaos can cause me harm. But I'm grateful that it doesn't. The more and more you move forward in life, the further and further you'll be able to push yourself. But you need to ultimately take that step forward. Now, I know a lot of this is just essentially rant, but if you took anything away from this video, just comment it down below, because I want to see as many different, not only aspects of what you believe, but if you know someone else who believes in maybe something that's completely differs from yours, I want to know. I want to know everything that there is to know.